Okay, did I break it? I think I did break it. Son of a gun. Oh, maybe not. Maybe not. Let's see here. Let's see here. Let's see here. Farty. I love it. Bang. What up, Henry? What up, Henry? Henry Marco. Copy, 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 copy. Copy, 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 copy. Chat. Where's my chat at? Chat overlay, edit, bang, bang, okay, bang, bang. What up, cat? How's freaking Hawaii? How's Hawaii treating you? Now I forgot what I was doing. Oh, right. This, show chat, edit, studio, bam. There we go. We did hookah last night. Did you see Tool? While playing Disturbed Fred. Oh, you didn't? Okay. Oh. You can't always get what you want. But if you try sometimes, you just might find, you get what you need. Ooh, yeah. Okay, let's see. Hit the like button. Bam. All right, let me see. Where am I? Where am I? Let's close some of this stuff down. Okay. Dang, 18. Tom showed my mom a video that you posted to the family. Did you see? Did you see that I got my second application? I'm currently getting reviewed, so I've already got my well, that's YouTube. So it's I signed my contract. I signed up my new AdSense account or registered it. That said it would take 2 weeks to get reviewed, but it only took about 5 minutes because I've had it for so long from previously. And then now it says YouTube will review your channel for your monetization policies. It usually takes about a month, and this was yesterday. So I should have the ad revenue stuff coming in. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. I was so close to hitting it by the end of the year. I thought I was gonna hit it by the 31st, and then this was yesterday or the day before. But yeah, nice. It's definitely good. It's definitely good. You gotta watch the videos. You're like your mom's a fan. All right, where are we at? Okay, let's see here. Let's see. I wanted to watch one of those. Oh, Ray and William. Bang.
One day, this
Whoa,
kid,
whoa.
he's 12, he's hanging out with his older cousin.
Oops. Bang, that was older cousin. They don't typically watch your lights. Yeah, I didn't think so. He's addicted to hookers. What? Hold on. Let me see what I can find here. Ray. One day ago. There was somebody said something about. Oh yes, this is what I wanted to watch.
So this crime TV show host really wants his ratings to go up. So he has people killed so that he can put it on his show. Now the guy's name is Wallace, and Wallace is 38 when this story starts, and he's living in Brazil.
Yeah,
And
sometimes the
Wallace,
stuff we're
he's an
discussing,
interesting guy. He's a former police officer in one of Brazil's most crime-ridden cities,
requesting another
and
Greek
he's
video.
the
I told
kind
her
of
I'll
guy
wait
who
till I'm there
seems
so
to
I
be
can- okay.
obsessed with getting attention and gaining power from it. So
Yes.
one day in 1996, he gets this idea. He wants to co-create a TV show called Canal Livre for a local TV station. And the show, it's kind of gruesome. Like, it reports on a lot of the crime happening in the city, and it includes raw footage of arrests and big drug busts and dead bodies, while Wallace is back in the studio commenting on all the crimes. So he creates this show, and this little local show actually blows the up, and it becomes a hit. Turns out, people actually want to tune in and see gritty footage of all these crazy crimes being committed. In fact, this show is so popular that sometimes when a regional soccer game is supposed to air at the same time as Canal Livre, they will choose not to show the soccer game.
Wow.
So basically, the show is more popular in this region of Brazil than soccer, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Anyway, over the next 2
That's
years,
crazy.
the episodes get wild. They start featuring musical acts, and there are segments with dancing women and segments with puppets. And remember, this is a crime show that will regularly show dead bodies.
Jeez.
But whatever. This all just makes the whole thing even more
I tell you
popular
what,
in the region.
The world is a weird place, and you got people celebrating death. You know, it's so crazy.
Not only that, but in an attempt to...
I mean, like soccer. Soccer is so super popular, and they're like, no, we want to watch
increase
true crime
the drama of this show, Wallace and his crew eventually start following police to crime scenes. And they'll like film shootouts that are happening, and yeah, sometimes they'll film murder victims whose bodies haven't been identified yet. And then he'll air these segments back in the studio in front of his live studio audience. Yes, his brutal crime murder show is shot in front of a live studio audience.
Crazy.
But this, in turn, makes it all even more popular. And Wallace gets super popular. And now that he's a minor celebrity, in 1998, Wallace decides to get into politics. And he runs for state deputy, which in the US would be like the equivalent of a state senator. And wouldn't you know it, he wins, and he becomes state deputy. Now, along with this new government position, Wallace continues to host Canal Livre. Now, at this point in the story, the show is huge. Plus, he's got this other government job. So he hosts the show, but he doesn't have time to personally rush out to every crime scene. So now they have a team of reporters doing it in his stead. Now, despite the fact that this show is already getting crazy good ratings, at some point, Wallace decides it's just not good enough. He wants more. And he and his team notice that anytime they show graphic footage of a newly murdered dead body, their ratings spike significantly. So Wallace starts thinking, how could we get more dead bodies? And this is where he comes up with this insane strategy to get his
This is freaking absolutely nuts.
ratings higher than they've ever been before. He decides to start orchestrating some of the crimes. That way he can get lots of dramatic crime content. And his field
It's like firemen that never have fires to put out, so they light the fires themselves.
reporters will always be first on the scene, and they can like film the dead bodies and stuff before they're covered up. And he will literally hire a hitman to assassinate someone, usually a suspected drug trafficker or some other criminal. And then he will tell his reporter crew exactly where the crime scene is going to be. And when that reporter crew shows up, they can film the dead body before the police get there. And this actually works, and the audience loves seeing this stuff, so the show's ratings stay high. A lot of times, Wallace's TV crew will show up to the crime scene before the police themselves show up, so it's all very exciting TV. And so, Wallace keeps going, and he organizes more crime for his reporters to capture.
This guy will be on fire.
And at one point, his team gets to a crime scene before police show up, and a victim had been killed, and afterwards the body had been burned, and in fact the body is still burning when police get there. So these local police start talking to Wallace's reporter, and Wallace's reporter somehow knows the victim's gender already. Plus, he knows that the victim hasn't been shot. And he also knows that the victim had been set on fire using gasoline. All things a reporter shouldn't know while the body is still burning. And so, over time, police start to get suspicious. How could Wallace's team constantly beat them to the crime scene? And how did Wallace's reporter know all those details?
That shit's
details about that burning body. But whatever, all this drama continues to make good TV, and Canal Libre just keeps getting more and more popular, and Wallace continues to get more and more popular. In fact, during this time, he runs for state deputy again, twice, and he wins both times, so he keeps his seat because the locals just love this guy. So it seems like he's just gonna
Sounds familiar.
keep having people assassinated in order to boost the ratings of his TV show, and no one is ever going to catch him. Until it all starts to fall apart. So Wallace's success has been going on for years at this point, and it's 2009 now, and he and his TV show are still super popular. But then, one day, out of nowhere, boom, this guy gets arrested.
I didn't see that coming.
Is this guy? Well, his name is DaCosta. And DaCosta is a former military police officer, and he's sometimes Wallace's personal bodyguard.
Yeah.
Well, police arrest him, and they accuse him of being involved in 9 different murders. And so they question him, and DaCosta, he doesn't want to go to prison, because as a former cop, it's not
What up, Ian?
safe for him in there. He put a lot of those guys away, so he'll probably get murdered if he goes to prison.
Matunda.
So DaCosta starts to crack immediately.
Where are you from, Ian? Matunda. That sounds familiar. Is that Matunda? That sounds like some. I know a Matunda. Ian. I know Ian's too. I don't think I know an Ian Matunda.
And in exchange for police keeping
I broke it.
him away from all the
Kenya.
other prisoners once he's locked
Wow.
up, he confesses everything. He tells them that his boss is Wallace and that he murdered people at his boss's orders, and that at least one of those murders had later been featured on the TV show Canal Libre. Plus, that the reason Wallace's team of reporters could show up at a crime scene faster than police is because Wallace had orchestrated those crimes, and he would then direct his reporters where to go.
Check out Kenya. Kenya. Man, that's so freaking awesome, dude. West or East Africa. Look at it. So I used to work at the Maryland Zoo in Baltimore, and we had African lions and African elephants. It was freaking awesome. Look at this stuff. Look at this. This is so awesome. Herds. What do you call a herd of? Is it a herd of elephants? A gang? A group? Freaking zebra? Yeah, we had a bunch of giraffes also. We had a bunch of giraffe. Water buffalo, I'm guessing. We had a bunch of flamingo also. That's pretty dang cool. That's really cool.
And so, of course, police are like, I knew it! Because they had been suspicious for a long time. But then, word of this gets out. And Wallace, he's still a beloved TV host and politician, so suddenly this is a huge news story. It's on the news everywhere, and the public is shocked. And from what I read, the public during this time doesn't actually seem to believe it's true.
Fake news.
Regardless, Wallace has to do damage control. And he has to hold a public press conference, and he denies ever being involved in any murders. He also denies even knowing DaCosta. He's like, I don't even know who that guy is. The problem with that excuse is there are already public photos of them together. Like, here's Wallace and DaCosta chilling at a pool. And so police get a warrant to search Wallace's home, and they bust in and they raid the place, and they find a list of names of men who have already been executed at Wallace's orders. So at this point, Wallace knows he's fucked. And so he decides to just flee and go on the run. And he ends up hiding out in some places in the countryside and also in a farmhouse near the jungle. But only 4 days later, police find him and bam, they arrest him. And I don't have a mugshot of him, but here is a picture of him in real life. And unfortunately, he never actually makes it to trial because he dies in jail of liver failure before he can be tried and sentenced.
Yeah. He looks rough. Jeez, man. That's crazy. That shit's so crazy. That's so freaking nuts. Let's look at Kenya. You live near here? What's up, Alicia? Alicia, my future roommate. Oh, I'm breaking it all down here. Rhinoceri. Man, Kenya looks kick ass. What the hell is this? Oh, camel with okay, they've got saddles on. It looks like Gary the from SpongeBob on the back of a freaking horse. Nairobi, right? That's in Kenya, right? Right. That's where what's her face is from. Nairobi City, 2025. That's pretty damn cool. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. That's what I say. I want to check out some Nairobi one of these days. Oh, geez, that's me. Let's see. Let's see what we got on the internets. Let's see what we got on the internets. What? The advanced? You you trying to escape Colorado, Alicia? My. What? Hold on. I seriously. Oh, jeez. Pressing with what? Gently pressing with gently pressing. If you oh no way. That's pretty damn cool. I don't know what I was thinking going so late in. Is anybody even I don't know it in the server? Let's see players. 1385. Let's see. Let us see. Oh yeah. Let us see here. Let us see here. And a damn word search. Oh, this is gonna piss me off so bad. I know it. Oh, that. What is that? It still doesn't make any sense. What are you talk? What's going on here? Oh, I have to click and drag. Maybe. There you go. There we go. I'm a freaking archery world tour. Bam! I'm a freaking professional. Look at this. Oh, okay, wind. Man, I'm. And you see, it's following a triangle there, and then the background. So now this is on a square, so it's going to change. I can keep you safe. I made a video by cutting down a long, in-depth conversation with JP into a short clip. The pacing may fill a bit shallow, but it's an experiment. What's up, Chi? All right, is it online, Alicia? What's going on, Chi? Hey, Chi. I made this video by cutting down a long in-depth conversation with JP into a short clip that basically made me feel chocolate. Okay, okay. All right. Oh, no, no, no. What'd I do? Oh, come on. Come on. No way. Left the live yesterday. Oh, right, yeah. She gets a little wackadoodle. I'm doing pretty good. What was going on in the chat, Cat? It was wackadoodle. Okay, let's see. Oh, come on. What's going on? Why I got so much float? This doesn't make any sense to me. Ah. Okay, all right. All right, let's see. Okay, let's see. I can't remember her name.
So, at like
All right, hold on. Let me.
the deepest level. So like, what's the real reason biology and like postmodern theory can't seem to mesh well?
Well, see, at the core, the clash is epistemological.
Right.
Biology, for example, is grounded in the scientific method. It's trying to uncover testable and repeatable truths about human nature, things that are actually rooted in reality. So, from the neo-Marxist or postmodern perspective, knowledge itself is viewed as a form of power. So, the claim is that science isn't really neutral, it's just another ideological construct. And that means even biology, which is one of our most reliable disciplines, gets cast as suspect. That's why these frameworks clash so violently, you know? One is oriented toward objective truth, and the other insists that truth itself is merely political.
Right.
And like, I bet you've seen this in academia, right?
Right. So when ideology collides with science, professors feel the pressure. You're not just presenting evidence anymore. You're violating a moral code.
Okay, so what he's talking about is a lot of science is straight up storytelling. So some people are so adamant that there's no God, they believe they can find that truth in science. But the thing is, there's only so much data. We only have between 1 and 15% of all possible things, animals that have been on Earth as fossils. So if the truth is a whole painting, we only have little dots of the mosaic scattered all around, and they're just using their ideological brush to fill in the painting. They don't have any proof or anything. They just say, "Oh, well, it seems like that. This is 75 billion years ago," and it's bullshit. They just want to be the smart ones in the room. They want the power from it, and they want to say, "Listen to me, not your religious figures. I'll tell you how to live. I'll decide what your political laws are. I'll decide, how the world goes, and I'll tell you what's right and what's wrong." So they want to turn science into an ideology, just like any other ideology, any other political thing. They're so adamant on there not being a god that they have to make shit up. So a lot of these scientists are just storytellers. They find a rock and they say, "Oh, this rock could be from this, this, and that. And if I test it this way, and this way, and this way, it's somewhat like this, this, and that. So therefore, this might be this, but this probably happened to it. And then a star did this, and then and they're just storytellers. They're not." Because they're so adamant on not doing God in the gap, saying this happened because God did it. They want to say this happened because a star did this and this happened, and there is no God, and listen to me and vote for me and listen to me. That's what the science part, at least thus far, is all about.
Right.
So then students petition and administrators intervene, senior
So
scientists.
if you believe you believe that the intellectuals are the truth, they can tell you anything. They can tell you that men can give birth, and I'm smarter than you. I'm a scientist. You're just too stupid to understand it. That's what they're saying.
Scientists resign or, unfortunately, get pushed out. I've seen it all.
That really sucks. That must be what kind of like led you to resign
That wasn't me.
from the University of Toronto, right? Am I correct?
Yes, absolutely. So I started at Harvard in 1985 and was there until 1993,
Okay.
whose gender identity didn't fit the standard categories.
Right. So what I want to ask about is how this affected you personally. What was it like having to go
Yes.
through that?
Okay. When the legislation hit, I was being painted as a villain of some kind, some even avoiding the topic entirely when I questioned it. It was disheartening.
Dang. That must have been like so intense.
It was. But my goal was always to explore the science.
For example, dopamine-driven behaviors in men like mostly align with exploratory tendencies, right? But
Yes.
like the serotonergic modulation, that literally promotes emotional regulation in more with women, and you can really see it in specific brain regions. But chemistry is like another layer. You know, in guys, more dopamine and testosterone crank up the amygdala and dial down GABA breaks, and boom, you get more impulse, more risk taking.
Precisely. And you see, this isn't just speculation. We've got very clear biological evidence for this. Take a study I remember. Who was it? Lenz and her colleagues back in 2013. They worked with mice, and what they found was absolutely striking. Early exposure to testosterone in those critical developmental windows, it actually altered the wiring between the amygdala and the prefrontal cortex. That's the circuitry that governs emotion, impulse control, and decision making. And the outcome? The males with that testosterone-driven wiring showed more risk-taking, more exploratory behaviors, right?
Right.
And when they exposed females to testosterone at the same stage, they started to behave like males. For example, these mice were more risk-oriented and more exploratory. That's causal, not just correlation. It shows us biologically why these sex-linked patterns emerge. It's grounded in hard science.
That makes sense.
So
The problem is the world makes sense to some people and the world doesn't make sense to others. If you can make things so complicated, if you can overcomplicate things so much that you confuse people, those people will look to you for the answers. When you have that control over a person or a group, you control who gets in power, you control where money goes, you control what happens. So you have these people, these storytellers that get to decide what and where is going to happen and what's going to happen. And when you start with a lie, you always have to build a lie on a lie. They don't want to get found out because now they're public officials. Now they're public figures. So now they've got to make sure they don't get found out. They would rather burn the whole system down than get found out. And that's the big problem. So the very first transgender surgery that was done in America was done on a kid. They were twin boys, and when they were circumcising the boys, they accidentally burnt the second one's dick off. So the doctors didn't want to go, spend millions of dollars. This was at Hopkins, I believe, and they didn't want to spend millions of dollars paying it out. So they said it'll be okay to start dressing them as a girl, and we'll figure it out. So they convinced the mom that everything would be fine, and she was like, they were the doctors, right? They were the authority. They were the ones that knew what could how to make this right. So millions and millions of dollars get spent on this one boy. And they're like, and I've said this a million times, the average person spends $10,000 to $20,000 a lifetime on medical care. The average trans spends 1.7 million. If you want to make the most money possible out of each patient, if you can convince them that they're trans, you can make a shitload of money. And then by convincing the politicians and the people that this is just another way of life, you can make more trans people. So they take the real trans people and they just get thrown to the side, and they make all of these other neo-trans people that are created, not natural, so to say. Anyway, Ramadan, then Eid immediately. Yeah, okay. What did I miss here? Youngest kid, seven heads. What's going on, Space Cow? Geez, Space Cow, 16 years. I'm only 3 years. I'm the middle. I have a three. My brother's 3 years older, and I'm 3 years young. And my sister's 3 years younger. What do you mean? You're trying to save because the next 2 months are holidays. Okay, I think Richard, Rich, I think you might be hallucinating, Chi. I've verbally been abusing Richard all month. Yeah, right. Absolutely, absolutely. Maybe in a month. All right, let me move this down here or up here. Let me do that. There we go. There we go. All right, where did I go? I broke something. Hey, no problem. That's what I'm here for. That's what I'm here for. And I tell you what, I used to think I was open-minded, and this is one thing that you'll find really interesting. There is no way to prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that there is no God. So if you're a true scientist and you want to find the truth, why do they start so close-minded when it comes to the possibility for a creator? That makes no sense. Just because somebody else told them that. But think about it. Think about if you can convince if you can convince somebody that there is no way that there's a God, and if you pay me enough money, I'll figure out how we're here. Because human nature is to want to know why you exist and want to know why you're here. So people are naturally going to have that inclination. And then now you can say, there is no God, pay me enough money, and I'll do enough science, and I'll put enough teams together and get enough schools, and I'll figure it out. Me and my team. Wawa does need a hug. Because he wants to hug you. Isn't that just enough? And so when you have settled science, like we know, the experiments have been done. They're not just theories. They're not just hypothesize, but they're settled. We know you add this to this and it makes this. So we know what testosterone does to women and what estrogen does to men and vice versa. We know what it does. We know what it does. And then you have people now saying, no, that's not the way it is. That's not it. Dummy. What, you only went to Anne Arundel Community College? So did you guys hear about oh, I'm surprised I'm not banned from this group. My behavior must be outstanding, especially when I'm indoors. I'm an upstanding member, say after all, except when I'm sitting down. Upstanding, sitting down. What's up, Paul? So there are these 42 Buddhist monks that are walking from Texas, 2,400 miles from Texas to Washington, D.C., and they're in my neighborhood. They are 500 feet that way right now. Hold on a second, Space Cow. So, Buddhist monks walking from Texas to DC. Yeah, so Buddhist monks walking through Georgia. So right now they're out front, and I'll show you. I've got a. Let me see if I've got it here. Here it is. This is out front. This is about a half hour ago. It's hard to see, but there's hundreds of people, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people, and this is 4 doors down. 8 doors down. 6. 4 doors down. Yeah, 4 doors down.
Nice.
Yeah. It's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy. Hi, Paul. All right, let's see what Space Cal's got for us. Where did my Jamulator 6000 go? Oh, Jesus. Teaching things that I shouldn't teach you. Let's see. This is going to be a bad idea. Oh, no way. That's a
What are you
wasp.
doing?
Nothing.
You're not burning one, right?
No, God.
No. Okay.
You better hit me somewhere.
Yeah. Oh.
Oh, God, dude! Fucking.
That is so messed up.
What are you doing?
That's
Nothing.
so messed up.
You're not burning one, right?
No, God.
Yeah, how did he calm the bee down so much? B shot. What's up, B? No, never mind. That was going to be rude. What's going on, Mustang? How you doing, brother? I thought this was the same chat last night. As soon as I logged in, I heard I was talking to Estrogen again. What up, rat? I've never done that before. I'm too much of a wuss. I'm too much of a wuss to deal with those. Estrogen Nugget is crazy. Thanks. Now Chi, before you came in yesterday, there was a whole bunch of talk about transgender hormone therapies and this and that. So there was a lot of talk about estrogen and testosterone. I think that's kind of where you came in. I'm allergic to bees, so I would never do that. Yeah, that's crazy shit,
No. Okay.
You better hit me somewhere.
dude. So I totally thought he was gonna go breathe in to get the breath and suck the bee into his mouth. That was my original thought of what was gonna happen.
Oh.
Good
Oh,
shot.
God, dude! Fucking.
Yeah, Mustang. That's not. Definitely stay away from that. I thought estrogen used to be spelled estrogen. And that does look. That might be the Latin or it's Greek or something. That looks very almost correct for some reason. I'm not getting a red flag. There was also another conversation about how murder was cool. Yeah, same person, same thing. Mustang. Yeah, she said murderers are cool. Did you do that to his dad? That's pretty cray. Do you recall Rust Street? Yes, absolutely. I recall Rust Street. What's up, Carlorte? What would you do? Hold on. What would you do if when you okay? Hold on. My brain just shifted into low gear. What would you do if when you okay so he said yes would go? Popsicle. Cray. I don't think it was funny. It wasn't funny. It was just a conversation. It was. I mean, it wasn't funny. Now, what do you recall? Do you recall what would you do? Yes, absolutely. All right, what was it looking up? It is. It is a thing. I knew it was a thing. It is. See, look. Estrogen is a vital group of hormones. It is. Yeah, it is right. It does have an O in Greek or whatever. I'm not sure if it's Greek, Latin, maybe. Yeah, types of estrogen. Yeah, oh, no. It also spelled OES in British English, it says. Okay. Yeah, Animals on Drugs is funny. John Quinones. John Quinones? Oh, from What Would You Do? Yeah. Wow, good memory, Chi. Wow. Good recalling. And also PDF, I thought was spelled that is also true. That is also true. That's also true, Paul. You're correct in both. Yeah, it's not. Yeah, not. Yeah, I'm guessing it's not Greek. It says British English. It says the O yes is British English. Paul Beeman. Dun, yeah, George Lopez is wackadoodle. Yeah, George Lopez is nuts. He kind of does look like a George Lopez. Man, that was funny. That was funny. Um, let me see, where was I? Oops, broke it again. I'll do that. We can go full. Paul Beeman. Get that over there. There we go. There we go. Paul Waspman. Uh-oh, my face broke. My face broke. Look at Chi making me grow out my beard. There we go. All right. Yeah, he sucks. He definitely sucks. Paul Bunyan. Paul Bunsman. Yeah, now you get it, Chi. Now you get it. Beeman. Okay, let's see. Yeah, the hair's growing out. What's up, ladies? Hey, I'm Richard. Paul Blart. Paul Beavy. What am I adding on the wall? Paul Beeman. Paul Walker. I did his kind of tombstone. We'll talk about it in a second. All right, Paul BV. Okay, so Paul Walker, my buddy that lives the guy that I did the water heater with, that he was in my water heater replacement video. Um, he is a hot rodder. He used to have a company called Toxic Tails for doing taillights on fancy cars. I had a laser cutter. Yeah, yeah. Anyway, so when Paul Walker died, I took a hunk of granite, black granite, and I carved a picture of Paul Walker's head, his face in it, and then wrote Paul Walker, Paul James Walker, whatever his middle name was, and then his birth date and death date, and may he rest in peace, yada yada yada. And then it got sent out to California, and it got placed where the Porsche burst into flames. Get off my screen. Yeah, I've had an interesting life. I've done a lot of wackadoodle stuff. And Paul Beeman. And the B is very necessary. So I swear to God. I swear to God. To God. Hand on the Bible. I swear to God. I swear. Um, Someone said I needed to be Charlie Kirk a week ago on Instagram comments. Jeez, can't flame them though. Goopender, excuse me, sir. Do you think someday we could meet and make a hamburger helper together? Let's do it. Let's do it, Goopender. Um, uh, Beef stroganoff. Have you met any celebrities? Lots, thousands, thousands. Paul Walker has been going 10 years. Yeah. All right, Goop, brother. I put you on the wall, my friend. Goopender, Goopindir. Okay. I missed something here. Thank you, Mr. Goopender. Alrietta. All right, hold on. What did I miss? Hold on. Let me go back to show this Alicia. Is that the same video? Okay, yeah. Hold on, Alicia. Alicia. Oh no.
How are you today? Yes, do you think I can get this? Oh, no, you're fine, motherfucker. You're fine. You're good. I was just trying to see this. I need it for my call center.
I can't watch this shit, Alicia. You freaking nut job. You're gonna freaking get me killed. Fucking no, Rich. What about Space Cowboy? I call me Pog Walker. Oh, right. I didn't put two and two together. I've seen Goopinder many times on other chats. Hey, there you go. Yo, yeah, you're on the wall. I remember where you are, Mustang. Hold on 1 second. All right, you're over here. You're over here. Where are you? If you see it, shout out. I could have swore you were on this piece here. Huh. I could have swore you were in this area over here. Okay, hold on. I'll get you, brother. I'll get you. Huh. Yvonne, Alicia, Martin. I could have swore you were here with like Rahender and stuff. Mustang. Could have swore you were on here. Huh. Okay, my bad. My apologies. My apologies. Yeah, I know he was on the ball. I could have swore he was on that other. Yeah, I'm not. If there's 1,080 people on that wall, almost 1,090 now. I think more than that because I've added others. Get off the screen, ugly. All right, let me see. Rich has written me, Paul BV. BV means. Hey, no problem, Mustang. Thanks for hanging out, my friend. I appreciate it. You gotta watch the part when he talks to a real Indian man. All right, jeez. Alicia does any girl not have an Indian man that slid in their DMs? Oh, get 100%, 100%. Thanks for Rich Double on the Wall of Fame. Thank you, brother. But you have to give. I give Chi the credit. She told me I should do it and held me to it. Okay. Oh, Alicia. Oh, that's the wrong one. Where am I at here, Alicia? I'm spitting all over the place.
You know what I do? Get it serving with your device or information or I need help. Looking for something for my herpes. Herpes? Yes, I need something to put on my herpes. Do you have a picture? No, I didn't bring my phone. Do you know what time is it, Ben Chot? Yeah, I just need something for my herpes, like, something for to make it grow more. Do you know what I'm talking about or no, Ben Chot?
You spell it?
You know what I'm talking about, lamb chop. What is going on here?
I think like this, Ben Chot. I don't know.
I got 1.2 million views. I can't stand, dude. There's no way I'm gonna be.
I don't know how to spell it. I
can't
just
do
know.
cringe
You do not understand or what? Do you not understand or what?
And how much he loves to ruin them. First of all, I was a minor. Second thing, it sounded like
Do you know? Let me see.
that was definitely a threat. I got random DMs from Indians and Pakistanis before. Yeah, my sister used to get freaking the Pakistani invasion men. I think when she was on Instagram, and she ended up marrying one of you Arabs. So maybe it works. Alicia Keys, I'm trying to find just one girl ever not. Hold on. I'm trying to find just one girl ever not have one. Hold on. What? He said Ben Code. That means sister. How modest of it, right? Can you please say, "Oh, geez, I'm Brazilian, and my brother wanted to see it in your live." That's his name, by the way. How the hell do I say it? What hater? How do you say Heitor? Hector Andrade. Hector Andrade. Gay overkill deads. I haven't been to Walmart since 2007. Bought an $800 TV and they wouldn't let me leave until I showed a receipt. I returned the TV and have not returned. Yeah, dude, I'm the same way. I hate that shit. Pisses me off. Richard is Richard to not ever have to DM from any. I've never had a DM from an Indian guy. I don't even have. I don't even have. I do on Instagram. I don't use it. It's a sin to put it in, but it's a shame to pull it out. I'm very happy to help, silly. Happy to help, my friend. It's a sin to put it in, but make a shout to pull it out. I freaking love comedy. All right, cat. See you later, cat. Give the family my love. Oh no, the wrong button.
Do I need to grow some more?
Oh jeez. Oh man. Yeah, she's gonna be here in like 3 days. She'll be here. Just wondering, come sliding in with a freaking banger. Rich, give the family my love, especially my brother. All right, what am I doing here? Oh, jeez. There's no freaking way. There's no freaking way. There's no way. That's just funny. That's funny. Was that Liam? Yeah, that shit was funny. Uh, what the? You know, there's the cameraman there. They're all in on it, guaranteed. I guarantee there's a cameraman sitting there filming. As soon as that rice hit, they would have looked over and saw a guy sitting there with the camera and been like, yeah. The problem is with these pranks is people forget that there's a cameraman. I think it's one of the big things why. Okay, we'll go back to what you were saying before. You asked me if I met any celebrities, Alicia. Like so, a bunch, a whole bunch, a lot. I've worked in the movie industry for 15 years. I met a, a lot of people. Um, when I was started working for the movie industry, I tried to watch movies because that's what everybody talked about. But I couldn't suspend my disbelief anymore. I couldn't believe, I knew everything's fake. I'd stop watching the plot. I'd stop watching the actors, and I'd be looking in the background, especially if it was any movies I had anything involved with. I'd look at the sets and stuff, and I couldn't do it anymore. So, like, I think a lot of people don't realize that there's a camera there. Do you recall a race started at you at Walmart? Luckily, that's never happened. I'd start swinging. Were you the fluffer in the movie industry? Who was the rudest? Okay, so a lot of them are rude. The biggest turn off basically I got was uh Robert Downey Jr. when we were filming Endgame. We were outside, like during a break period. You know, we had a couple hours while they were setting up the cameras and everything. And somebody brought by one of the prop guys or brought by a guitar that had it was a red like Fender Stratocaster that had the Avengers A on it and Iron Man's head on it. And they asked Robert Downey Jr. to sign it because some kid was dying and they were going to give it to this dying kid. And he signed his name like this. And it looked like complete dog shit. And they were like, "Oh, dude, can we go rub this off? Can you do it again?" And he was like, "No." Like, what do you mean? So they ended up rewriting his name, so it wasn't his, so the kid wouldn't be disappointed. But he was like, "No," he's like, "I only got 5 minutes before this and that." Like, dude, you had to sign your signature. You could have taken 3 seconds to do it. Yeah, absolute prick. Absolute prick. Kidding, my bad. Michael Jackson was really, really shy, quiet, timid in real life. Yes, he could make at least 1,000 jokes. Yeah, I could make 1,000 jokes, but I won't. I've never met him. I never met him. I know a lot of people that have met him, and they basically say the same thing. Like he was a big prank caller. Like he would call to wish people hey, I see you got this award, or this is doing really well, blah blah blah. And also he would call and try to do practical jokes or stuff. But everyone knew his voice, so they were like, "Michael, is that you?" No, you got me. Jeez. How about the blind prank? The blind prank where a blind guy is licking an ice cream cone. Hold on. Where a blind prank where a blind guy is licking an ice cream cone while steering into Oh yes. I've definitely seen that. My family knew him, but moving on.
Here are 5 mistakes. So it took me 6
SpongeBob dinner tutorial.
I hear God.
Dude, I tell you what. If anybody's investing in metals, gold, I mean silver is going freaking nuts right now. It's gone from I think it's like almost let me see, I think it's like almost $60 or $70 an ounce. Silver spot price. $79 a kilo. It was $20 a gram, sorry. Sorry, hold on. Yeah, gram. 1 ounce. Sorry, I'm an idiot. An ounce of copper is $80, and 4 years ago it was 20, so it's gone up 4 times in 4 years basically. If you bumped into this guy in Atlantic Station, would you shake his hand to get an autograph? Absolutely. Who's seen the Tourette Suthercamp documentary years ago? That sounds so familiar. I'm sure I've seen clips from it. All right, let's see. All right, let's do this. All right, everybody. I'm gonna call it a night now. I gotta get something to eat and go to bed. But I love y'all. Appreciate y'all coming to hang out. We'll be back tomorrow. Hugs and kisses, everybody. Love you guys. Talk to you later. Bye.